Hey there, my Green Fire Motivation people. This is your girl, Green Fire Motivation, aka Judy Owens. So, how you guys been? I know it's been a little while since I've recorded a video, but I'm back. I'm refreshed, and I'm still going hard on this 30-day video challenge, even though it's taking more than 30 days to complete. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that make me quit or fall off from getting through to those 30 videos. So, as always, I do have a question for you. Oh, FYI, this is actually video number 18 on the 30-day video challenge. So if you've been hanging in there with me, I appreciate you. If you've been wondering where I've been, here I am, and I'm back, new and improved. I have some good videos that are going to be coming up within the next few days. So definitely stay tuned to keep your motivation fire lit green. So, as always, I have a question for you. You guys know I'm big on questions. Why? Because I always want to make you think. I always want to make you think. I want to provoke your thoughts to move you in the direction that you're hoping to go. I want to stimulate your mind to do something that you wouldn't normally do so that you can get the different results that you actually desire to acquire. So, the question is, here it is. Are you ready to quit your job and follow your dreams? The question was, are you ready to quit your job and follow your dreams? Once again, this is your girl, Green Fire Motivation, aka Judy Owens. The intention of this channel is to get you to take action and take control of your life. Please hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the thumbs up. If you like this video, comment down there at the bottom. If you're still with me, comment, I'm still with you. And then also comment on any part of the video that may leave a really big impression on you. Definitely share the video. And by all means, hit the notification bell so that anytime I load videos, it'll notify you through either email or text message, I think. So, once again, are you ready to quit your job? So I'm going to digress a little bit so that you guys can understand where this is coming from. And this is a disclaimer. Number one, I'm just telling you from my own personal experience. So this may not apply to everyone, and I'm okay with that. If it doesn't apply to you, that's fine. I appreciate, if you watch to the end of the video anyway. But if it doesn't apply to you, don't be offended. This video was not recorded as a direct hit to any particular person or any particular conversations that I've had. That's a disclaimer. Is directly to do with me. So, on March 9th of 2017, I made the leap to leave my job of 8 years. I'm not going to say the company, but I was there for 8 years. Those who know me know which company it was. But I was there for 8 years, and it was time for me to go. I mean, it was just time for me to go. So, what I did was, I left the job, and I said I was going to become a full-time trader on the stock market or the Forex market, okay? So I quit my job March 9th of 2017, and I remember this because it was the day before my mom's birthday. So, happy birthday, Mommy. I love you. Yeah, so, because it's after midnight, so it's already her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mommy. Happy birthday, Mommy. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so had to take time to go ahead and, share with you guys. But anyways, I love my mom. So, are you ready to quit your job? So like I said, March 9th of 2017, I actually decided it was time for me to leave my job of 8 years. I was going to be a full-time trader on the Forex market. And I just knew I was going to make it big. I knew I was going to be rich. I knew that nothing was going to stop me. I was going to buy houses. I was going to buy cars. I was going to do a whole lot of different things with all the money that I was going to make from the market. Well, what I said was I was going to give myself 6 months. Give myself 6 months to sink or swim. They say it takes, about 3 months or so to find a new job, right? So I said, okay, I've got some money saved up. I'm going to give myself 6 months to sink or swim. So from March to September. In September, if September came and I wasn't making the type of money that I wanted to make, then I would need to go ahead and get another job. In the meantime, it was my intention to, like I said, make it big on the market. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to tell you what happened. So, let me tell you, I'm reliving the whole scenario here, so forgive me if I stumble over my words a little bit. But before I tell you what happened, I want to give you guys 3 things or 3 questions to ask yourself before you quit your job. I want to give you 3 questions to ask yourself before you quit your job. Now, this particular video is not really heavy on motivation, more so getting you to think about what it is that you're trying to do. If you are trying to leave your job, quit your job, transition out from your job, what have you, okay, into a dream career, okay? I'm not necessarily referencing moving from one job to another. I'm specifically referencing moving from your full-time job or your main source of income to a dream job, as in something you're jumping into maybe without any prior experience or just taking a leap of faith. Okay, so if you're taking a leap of faith, before you take that leap of faith, before you quit your job, what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Okay, so the first question I want you to ask yourself is, am I disciplined? Okay, am I disciplined? Okay, so when I say ask yourself, am I disciplined, this is what I mean. Okay, so when I quit my job or left my job, I decided, like I said, I was going to be a full-time trader. What I did was I had laid out a plan and I said, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And, I really thought that the plan was sufficient. It was a sufficient plan. But the problem with being self-employed or with being responsible for your own income is that distractions can really throw you off, okay? And when I say distractions, I mean 2 things. 2 things, and I'm talking from personal experience. So I got distracted, and when I say distracted, I went into what I call vacation mode. Vacation mode is when you realize no one's going to tell you to get up, no one's going to tell you to go to work, no one's going to tell you, when to get off work, no one's going to tell you to, hey, you better make sure that you have money coming in so you can pay your bills. Nobody's going to tell you that. Why? Because you don't have to punch a clock and you don't have to answer to anybody. You're your own boss. You're doing what you need to do, to survive. Or in my scenario, I went into vacation mode where I watched as many movies as I wanted to. I binge watched Start TV with all the CSIs and the mediums and unforgettables and all that. I took some of the money that I had saved and I went, different vacations, different places. And so like I said, I got stuck in vacation mode. So obviously, there was an issue with my discipline in being self-employed that I was unaware of. And in doing that, I'm not going to say wasted away 6 months, but it became very difficult for me to become the type of trader that I wanted to be because I got stuck in vacation mode. So this is the reason why the first question I want you to ask yourself is, am I disciplined? Because if you're disciplined, then you won't be affected by vacation mode. You'll, consistently produce what you need to produce in order to reach the goal or that dream success that you have in mind. So here's my suggestion, okay? Before you take that leap of faith, before you quit your job, ask yourself, am I disciplined? And this is how you can tell if you're disciplined, okay? You can tell if you're disciplined if you get to work on time every day, okay? You can tell if you're disciplined if you make it your priority to complete all your tasks during the day, okay? You can tell that you're disciplined if when you don't understand something, you find resources to help you understand better. That way the job can get completed, okay? So those are 3 things that you can check on. Look to see if you're doing those 3 things on your current job. This will tell you whether or not you're disciplined enough, Okay, this will tell you whether or not you're disciplined enough. And here's my suggestion: if you've reviewed those 3 things and asked yourself that question, and you have discovered that you're not disciplined enough, what you should do before you quit that job, you should start practicing your disciplines. Start showing up to work 10 to 15 minutes early. Start, going over what your day is going to look like. Make your two complete list, okay? And then also, check how you locate your resources. How studious are you when it comes to finding the information that you need in order to do what you need to do, okay? Start before you leave the job, right? That way it's already a discipline, it's already a habit that's been formed, and you can use that to your advantage when it comes time to keep yourself in check, to make sure you're doing everything that you need to do, to still maintain and increase the income, that you were looking to have from leaving that job to leaping into your dream job, career, success, however you want to call it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the second question that I want you to ask yourself is, do I have a laid out plan? Okay, and let's back up a little bit. If you are still with me right now and you have asked yourself, am I disciplined? I want you to type down at the bottom. This is the Green Fire community, so, no one's going to say anything per se. Just type, if you're disciplined, type, I am disciplined. If you're not disciplined, type, I am not disciplined, okay? So, whatever you type, you need to go back to that question. If you are disciplined, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you're not disciplined, see what you can do about implementing those strategies before you leave your job. That way they can already be habits that are formed, and that'll ensure that you'll do what you need to do when you get on your own, okay? So, the second question you need to ask yourself is, do I have a well laid out plan? Do I have a well laid out plan? And when I say, do I have a well laid out plan, what I mean is, for example, with myself, when I left my job, I had a couple of things written out, some things that I would do during the day to help my trading. But I think where I kind of fell short is that it wasn't detailed enough. Anyone who has watched my 2 complete list video, how to make a 2 complete list video, understands that it's important to plan every single part of your day. Okay, it's important to plan every single part of your day to make sure that you're maximizing the amount of time that you have to complete your tasks. Okay, now once again, these questions that I'm letting you know to ask yourself are from my personal experience. So if they don't relate to you, that's okay. But these are from my personal experience, okay? So do you have a well laid out plan? Do you know what you're going to do as soon as your eyes open? Do you know what you're going to eat for breakfast? Do you know what you're going to wear that day? Do you know what task you're going to complete that day? Do you know what time you're going to take your lunch? Do you know what time you're going to get off? All of these things need to be planned out, okay? All of these things need to be planned out. They need to be written down. Just like when you were in school, the teachers, now see, this is something that I'm understanding now, being a teacher, is that even when we show up as students, we don't understand the preparation and the amount of time that it actually took for the teacher to lay out that lesson plan. We don't understand that. We never see that part. We never see the written down part, okay? We only see the outcome, as in we're learning things from the teacher, okay? So that's the reason why I say it's important to write down everything. A teacher's lesson plan can be anywhere from 3 to 5 pages. And you may not ever see those 3 to 5 pages, but understand that in order for their lesson to be as effective as they need it to be, and to include all of the details that it needs to include in order to make sure that the students are getting the best learning possible, they need to write it down, okay? Not to mention, the fact that I work at a daycare, I understand the importance of having a schedule. Once you have a schedule, you don't have to think about what you're going to do. You already know. Just like when you wake up in the morning, you know you're going to wash your face and brush your teeth, or you're going to take your shower and wash your hair. You already know what you're going to do. Why? Because it's become a daily routine. Once it becomes a daily routine, you don't have to think about it anymore. It just automatically happens. Okay? So that's the reason why I say you need to have a well laid out plan. After a while, you'll know the plan by heart, so you may not need to physically look at it, but in the beginning, you need to start somewhere. And like I said, I believe that's where I fell short. I didn't ask myself, do I have a well laid out plan? Okay, so it's important, once again, for you to have a well laid out plan, one that's written out, one that you can follow and eventually memorize to where you know it like the back of your hand. Okay. All right, so type down in the bottom, because I love the comments, guys. I respond to the comments. I don't know if you've ever commented. I'm pretty sure I've responded. If not directly, I'll hit a thumbs up, I'll hit a heart button, and I'll even put a little message back to you. So go ahead and type at the bottom. Either you type in I have a well laid out plan, or you type in I do not have a well laid out plan. So if you have a well laid out plan, once again, kudos to you. Good job. You're well on your way. If you do not have a well laid out plan, then you may want to go and look at my 2 complete list video. The 2 complete list video that goes over how to structure your day based on time frames. Okay. Oh, and if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and definitely hit the bell. Okay. Because Green Fire Motivation is going to be going very strong, and I don't want you to miss anything, okay? So last but not least, the third question I want you to ask yourself, and this technically could have been the first question, but I chose to leave it last because I think the first 2 are very important. This third one is just as important as the first 2, but to be honest, I could actually take this one question and make a whole nother video. Okay. So the question is, you want to ask yourself, question number 3. Okay. So question number 1 was, am I disciplined? That's the first question you want to ask. Before you quit your job, the first question you want to ask is, am I disciplined? The second question you want to ask is, do I have a well laid out plan? Okay. The third question that you want to ask yourself is, do I have a backup plan? Okay? Do I have a backup plan? Okay? Now, when I say, do I have a backup plan, what I mean is this. Say, for example, you're on your way to work, okay, and you hit a detour, right? Okay, so if there's a detour there, that means there's a backup route that you can go to get to the same destination. Okay? That means there's a backup route that you can go to get to the same destination. Okay? So when I say, do you have a backup plan, what I mean is, sometimes the dreams that we have, the careers that the dreams that we want, and the careers that we're trying to reach take longer than expected to reach them. Okay? So I'll use myself as an example once again. So I gave myself 6 months to sink or swim. Okay, so from March 7th of 2017 to September 7th of 2017, that was my time frame. So it was either I was going to sink and find another job after September 7th, or I was going to swim and I was going to make it big. Okay, so as it turned out, because I did not ask myself if I was disciplined and I did not have a well laid out plan, I actually sank. Okay? And as embarrassing as it is to say, it's the truth. And it makes sense for me to tell the truth because that's the reason why I'm making this video, because I know a lot of people want to swim. Okay? So that's the reason why I'm telling you, ask these questions now. That way you can swim and not sink like I did. Okay? So the last question is, do I have a backup plan? So I want you to type at the bottom. If you have a backup plan, type I have a backup plan. If you do not have a backup plan, type I do not have a backup plan. Okay? Now, backup plan Could be many different things, but I'm only going to name a few. Backup plan. Okay, say for example, I gave myself 6 months, okay? So after 6 months, I had to either get a job or, find some other form of income, right? So, do you have a backup plan? If this dream takes longer than you expect it to take, what type of job would you be looking to get back into if you needed to? Just to, to give yourself more time to accomplish the dream. So the reason why I say that is because if it doesn't work out in the time frame that you want it to work out, you don't want to be sitting there, without any money, about to get evicted, about to get your car repoed and, not having any food on your table. You don't want to find yourself in that situation if you can help it, okay? The other thing that I would say is go ahead and get a resume together. Okay, go ahead and get a resume together that's ready to go. Like, it can take between 3 to 6 months to find a new job. So if you're getting, I gave myself 6 months. So somewhere around that month number 5, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and get something together because this is not going the way I anticipated. So don't wait until the last minute to get that resume ready. If you feel like, there may be a chance. You're taking a leap of faith. And I'm not saying, God's not going to work on your behalf and everything. But I will say sometimes we ignore God and we do what we want to do. And then we find ourselves out there in the water like Peter trying to swim, right? Okay. So here's the thing. Have your resume ready just in case you need to use it. Okay. I don't know what your time frame is. Just understand that sometimes it can take between 3 to 6 months to get another job. Once you leave one job, it can take 3 to 6 months to get another job. So if you're around the month number 4.5, 5, and you haven't, progressed in the goals that you were trying to reach or the career that you were trying to reach in that time frame, you'll already have that resume ready. Okay. Now, the last portion too that I'm gonna say is, do you have a backup plan? Do you have any money saved? Okay. Do you have any money saved? Now, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of what's his name? John Ramsey. And John Ramsey, he's got this school called Peace University, Financial Peace University, I believe it is. And he talks about the debt snowball. And basically, what he says in the debt snowball is that when you're trying to build, a debt snowball, the very first step is to save $1,000. Okay, because he says within, every 10 years or so, you'll have a major event that's going to hit you kind of hard. So he says to save $1,000. Another one of the steps that is in reference to this question, do you have a backup plan, is he says to save, I believe it was 6 months worth of bills or 6 months worth of expenses. So say, for example, every month, in order to maintain everything, your car, your home, your water, electric, and so forth. Say, for example, everything to maintain is $1,000 a month. So if everything to maintain is $1,000 a month, then what you want to do is you want to save I would say a minimum of $6,000. Now, in a perfect world, $6,000 is wouldn't be hard to save in a perfect world, but we're not in a perfect world. But this is just the thought. If it takes between 3 to 6 months to find a new job and you have a minimum of 6 months worth of expenses saved, then that gives you a little bit of room so that when it's time, if you should have to go back to find another job, like I said, you won't be struggling or, trying to figure out how you're going to pay your bills and how you're going to put food on your table. Okay. So I've probably gone a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to let you guys know that Green Fire Motivation is telling you before you quit your job, these are the 3 questions that you want to ask yourself. Number 1, am I disciplined? Okay. And if you're not disciplined, start getting disciplined right there on the job that you're at. And rewind this video if you need to go over some of the methods that I talked about with discipline. Okay. The second question that you need to ask yourself is, do I have a well laid out plan? Okay. And your well laid out plan needs to be something that's written down. something that's written down that you can memorize like the back of your hand, something that you'll do every single day, okay? And then the final question that you need to ask yourself is, do I have a backup plan? If you're on your route to work, okay, and there's a detour, that someone created a backup plan so you could still get to the same destination. If your dream is going to take longer than you expected to reach, definitely have a resume ready. Have that backup plan so that if you need to get back in the workforce until you can reach your goals with your career and your job, you know, the dream job that you want, a dream career that you want, you'll be ready to do that, okay? This is Green Fire Motivation. It's been lovely talking to you guys. I will see you soon. Once again, this is video number 18 of the 30-day video challenge. All right. Bye, guys.